Good morning, all of you. My name is Dr. Neha Hamilton, and we are covering this subject called research methods in management. And today we are going to take up a new topic, which is measurement and scaling. So, this is the last part of your fourth unit, which talks about various scaling techniques and measurement techniques that we usually use in the questionnaire. What is questionnaire? Questionnaire is a research instrument through which we collect data and we analyze data, right? So, whatever types of questions we put in the questionnaire, and how do we quantify those questions, right? So, the answer is the through measurement and rating scale. What are measurement and rating scales? Measurement and rating scales are actually the scales on which we take responses from the respondents, right? And we collect data from the questionnaire, or we code data that we collect from the questionnaire. So today's lecture objectives are to make you understand the concept of measurement and scaling, various types of scales that we use in research methods in management, and also in different disciplines of research. Measurement means assigning numbers or symbols to characteristics of objects according to pre-specified rules. So what is measurement? Measurement is assigning number to a particular quantity according to the pre-assigned rules. Pre-assigned rules means if I say that this length is 5 centimeters, then it is pre-assigned that how does 5 centimeter looks like. If I say that the weight of this particular thing is 2 kgs, so it is pre-decided that how much 2 kg will weigh, right? So that is measurement. What is measurement? It is assigning number or symbol to characteristics of objects according to the pre-specified rules. So we have some pre-specified rules on the basis of which we do measurement, right? We measure not the object but the characteristics of it. Thus, we do not measure consumers, but only their perceptions, attitudes, preferences, and other relevant characteristics. So, when we are talking about specifically the social science research, so in social science research, what happens is that you measure certain things or certain variables which are not quantifiable. When I say quantifiable means it is not easy for us to quantify them. Some examples are given. For example, perceptions. So how do I perceive about a particular thing? You cannot measure it. For example, my perception on smoking, right? Everybody says that smoking is injurious to health. And I also think that smoking is injurious to health. That is my perception, that is my mindset. But can you say that my perception is 10% better than yours, or your perception is 10% better than mine? I cannot say that because I cannot quantify that. So, this was the greatest problem in research, that whatever things or variables, subjective variables that we are trying to measure, cannot be measured very easily. So, what do? We use certain scales. Through those scales, we we can, to some extent, measure, uh, the perceptions, attitudes, and preferences of the customers or the respondents. So that is called as measurement, or that is called as scaling. So, what are we basically doing? We are transforming the things or the qualitative variables that are not measurable to uh, measurable, right? We are putting them on a scale so that degree of them can be measured, or inclination of them can be measured. So, scaling may be considered as an extension of measurement. Scaling involves creating a continuum upon the measured objects are located. When I say continuum, I am saying that I am making a systematic hierarchy, in which if it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 5 is greater than 1, or 5 has some different meaning and 1 has some different meaning in it. This is the meaning of continuum. So I am making an effort to calculate or quantify this subjective variables. So scaling is a process of placing the respondents on a continuum with respect to their attitude towards banks. So this is an example that we are taking. Scaling is a process by which respondents should be classified as having an unfavorable, neutral, or positive response. For example, if I ask a question to my customer in a questionnaire that banks, what is uh, your opinion on the services provided by banks? Question mark. Now, my first option is that I am highly delighted by the services. I like the services. This is point number one. Point number two is I am satisfied by the customer relationship officer but not satisfied with the software of the bank. Point number three is there is a lot of queuing in the bank. I am not satisfied with this. A lot of waiting time. Option number four, there are worst services provided by this bank and you should really work hard on improving the services. So I have given you four options. If I take first option, that means I'm really happy and delighted with the banks. And now as a researcher, I have successfully captured your opinion that on the scale of 100%, you like my services up to 100% because you have tick marked on the first option that is saying that 100% you like my products and services, right? If I tick on the first option, that means the services are worst and I don't like the services means 0%. I do not like your services for even 1%. I'm totally against your brand, right? So through scaling, I am doing a effort to quantify your attitude or opinion towards a particular product. Now we have primary scales of measurement. There are four primary scales of measurement. We have to understand the types of scales on the basis of types of data. So sorry, we have nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio scale. First two are non-metric and other two are metric. So let's come to the diagram so that you can understand. Yes. So these are the four measurement scale that we have to cover today. If you want, you can draw this diagram in your copy. You have to write down measurement of scales. Uh, then you have to write non-metric, and then you have to write metric scales. Okay. Now, the next thing that we have to understand is what is the difference between non-metric and metric. Metric means something which is measurable. Measurable means if I can measure something, I can compare two quantities, I can apply statistical operation on two quantities. If I can measure them, right? If in one hand I have 2 kg of rice and in second hand I have 3 kg of rice, then I can say that my second hand is heavier as compared to my first hand, right? So that is metric. If I say that temperature today is 50 degrees Celsius, which is greater than yesterday's temperature of 48 degrees Celsius. So I can compare these two quantities. When I can compare the two quantities, it becomes metric. When I measure it, it becomes metric. When I cannot measure it, it becomes non-metric. For example, Virat Kohli wearing a t-shirt written 1 and Dhoni wearing a t-shirt written 0. That doesn't mean that Mahendra Singh Dhoni is lesser than Virat Kohli only because their shirt have some number written on it. Are you getting my point? So that becomes non-metric, right? When we cannot measure that number or that number do not has particular measurable meaning, right? So that becomes non-metric. When I can measure it, I can compare it, it becomes metric. Okay. So I have total four types of measuring scales: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio scales. And we are dividing these four scales on the basis of a parameter which is called as measurability. If it is measurable, it is metric. If it is non-measurable, it becomes non-metric, right? Now let's come to the next slide and understand each scale one by one. The first is called as nominal scale. See, nominal scale, as the name is telling us, the meaning of nominal means for the name sake. केवल नाम ही है उसका, उसमें कोई मीनिंग नहीं है, उसका बस नाम ही है, ठीक है. So So that is called as nominal scale. A nominal scale is a figurative labeling scheme in which the number only serve as labels for identifying and classifying object. तो यहाँ पे नंबर क्या है, सिर्फ एक लेबल है. The number is not for the measuring term, or we cannot compare the two quantities here because it is non-metric. No, it is non-metric. Let's go back to the diagram and see. See, nominal and ordinal are non-metric, and interval and ratio are metric. That's why we are saying that nominal scale is the scale that is only for namesake. For example, number assigned to the respondent in a study constitute a nominal scale, and a female respondent may be assigned to number 1 and male respondent assigned to number 2. A female respondent assigned to number 1 and 2, that doesn't mean that male is greater than female because 2 is greater than 1, right? We are just coding it that male is equal to 1. So if a questionnaire is filled by a male candidate, I will code that questionnaire as 1. If that questionnaire is filled by a female, then I code that questionnaire as 2, right? So that is nominal scale, namesake scale. You cannot measure it, you cannot compare it. It is just for the convenience of your study. When a nominal scale is used for the purpose of identification, there is a strict one-to-one correspondence between the numbers and the object. One-to-one correspondence means I cannot repeat a single number for another category. For example, male is equal to 1, female is equal to 1. This cannot happen. Male has to be 1, female has to be 2. If I'm doing age categories 20 to 25 years of age, I am coding as 1. Then 26 to 30, I should code as 2. Right? I cannot code two categories as one. This is something which cannot be done. Each number is assigned to only one object. Each category, one object. And each object has only one number assigned to it. So that we do not get confused when we are doing data analysis and all those things. No matter which one is first or second, right? Number assigned to runners. For example, these are three runners in front of you. They have entered into a running competition, and on their t-shirt, number 7 is written, number 11 is written, and number 3 is written. So you cannot say that, because 11 is greater from 7 and 3, that 11 is first and this 7 is second and this third is third. No, you cannot say that because these numbers are just written on their shirts uh, you know, that do not give any meaning about them. We cannot measure it. So these are the examples which are there in front of you. कॉमन एग्जाम्पल्स इंक्लूड स्टूडेंट रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर्स एट देयर कॉलेज. हम आपको एसआईडी देते हैं, तो अगर आपका एसआईडी 8881 है और आपके फ्रेंड का एसआईडी 8882 है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि योर फ्रेंड इज बेटर देन यू बिकॉज 2 इज ग्रेटर देन 1, राइट? इट इज जस्ट a symbol or a number that is given to you. Okay. Common examples include student registration numbers at their college or university and number assigned to the football players. So here you can see on the shirt of the football players that numbers are given to them so that we can easily recognize them. That's all. That's it. In marketing research, nominal scales are used for identifying the respondents, the brands, the attributes, banks, and other objects. So when we have a lot of things to measure, when we have a lot of things to cover, then it becomes easy for us if we use nominal ranking or if we start using the nominal numbers. When used for classification purpose, the nominal scale numbers serve as labels for classes or categories. For example, you might classify the control group as group 1 and experimental group as group 2. The classes are mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. So we have two, if we have two types of group in an experiment, first is called as control group, second is called as experimental group, right? What is control group? Control group is a group in which we maintain all the factors of the environment constant in the laboratory condition. That is called as control group. And we may be applying or we not may be applying any test on control group. But when it comes to experimental group, we are applying some kind of a test to it, right? Because we want to compare the results of control group and experimental group. For example, I am doing a vaccination trial on an animal. Say I'm doing a vaccination trial on mouse, right? So I will take two mouse, mouse A and mouse B. I will keep both the mouses in laboratory in same kind of condition, same temperature, same amount of food, same kind of food I'm giving, same kind of water I'm giving, and all the conditions around me are same, right? So mouse A and mouse B are in same condition in the laboratory. Now I am giving vaccination to only mouse B and not giving vaccination to mouse A. Now after giving the vaccination, I will compare the body changes of mouse A and mouse B. Because mouse A is a control group and mouse B is an experimental group. So I can easily differentiate mouse A from mouse B, that these are the changes which are happening in mouse B because I have injected the mouse B with vaccination. So that becomes experimental group. We will code it as true. And mouse A, which is the control group in which we have not applied any experimentation, only to compare the body reactions of B and A, right? So that is called as control group, and the second one is called as experimental group. I hope you have understood the difference between control group and experimental group. Okay, so I was giving you example of nominal scaling technique in which we have to code one as control group and two as experimental group if we are doing a experimental study. Only limited number of statistics, all of which are based on frequency counts, are permissible. These includes percentages, mode, chi-square test, binomial test. It is not meaningful to compute an average student registration number, the average gender of respondents in a survey, or the number assigned to an average bank. So you cannot apply the statistical techniques, right? स्टैटिस्टिकल टेक्निक्स लाइक मीन मोड मीडियन ये सब आप नहीं अप्लाई कर सकते हो नॉमिनल नंबर्स पे. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई टेक दिस फिगर एंड आई टेक मीन ऑफ दिस नंबर, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग आई एम गेटिंग? I'm getting no meaning out of it, right? But I can calculate percentage also. For example, here 73 is written, 7 is written, and here also I think 77 is written, right? So I can calculate the percentage that the number of individuals having the number 7 on their t-shirt in this is 100%, right? इसकी t-shirt पे भी 7 है, इसके पे भी 7 है, इसकी t-shirt पे भी 7 लिखा हुआ है. मतलब the total number of individuals in term of percentage having number 7 on their shirt is 100%. सबकी shirt पे लिखा हुआ है ना, 100% हो गया. So these are some limited statistical techniques that I can apply on nominal techniques, right? So these are the examples that are written. Okay, for example, gender, male and female. I will code female as 1, male as 2. Next is marital status, married, single, divorced, whatever the number is, I can code married as 1, single as 2, and divorced as 3. Then we talk about nationality. If you are from Turkey, or you are from Arab, or you are from German, or you are from UK, right? So I can put it as 1, 2, 3, or 4. So these are the examples of nominal scale. So do we have any confusion in nominal scaling technique till now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So this is some other example of media product. What kind of media product you use? That means whether you use newspaper, I will code you 1. If you use television, I will code as you as 2. If you use internet, I will code you as 3. radio 4 and maxi 5, only for namesake. Now, what can we do or cannot with the nominal measures? Now it comes to statistical analysis. So how do we statistically analyze this nominal scale? Percentage can be calculated. I've told you that percentage can be easily calculated with a nominal scale, and generally nominal scales are only used to calculate percentage. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है, 40% male and 60% female. For example, I have given my questionnaire to 100 people. From that 100 people, 60 are female and 40 are male. How do I get that? Because I've coded male as one, female as two. So in 60 questionnaires, two is written, and in 40 questionnaires, one is written. So I can calculate the percentage that the number of females in, who have participated in my research is greater than the number of males. Can I say that? The number of females participated in my research are greater than the total number of males, because these are nominal figures, right? But arithmetic mean cannot be calculated, right? You cannot calculate the arithmetic mean कि आपके पास 40 मेल है, आप 40 का मीन निकालोगे तो उसका कोई मीनिंग निकल के सामने आएगा नहीं, right? So mode and frequencies can be calculated. Let us understand how the frequency is being calculated. For example, I have given you example of uh, these total number of nationalities: Turkish, Germany, Japanese, and Arab. So I have given my questionnaire to total how many people? To 1600 people. I have given my questionnaire to 1600 people. Now, from that 1600 people, 330 people are Turkish people, 610 are German people, 560 are Japanese people, and 100 are Arab people. So, can you tell me how much percentage of Turkish people are there in this particular distribution?
21 is given.
21. Very simple. You have to calculate the percentage, no? From total 1600, 330 are Turkish people. So you have to divide 330 by 1600, multiply by 100. Uh, you have to find out the percentage here, right? So you can easily calculate the percentage to nominal scale. Similarly, you can calculate from 610, 560, and least number of people are Arabs. We can also find out from this distribution that the maximum people who have participated in this survey are from which nationality? The maximum people are from which nationality?
Germany.
Germany. Very good. The maximum people are from Germany, because from 1600, the 610 is the maximum number. So we can say that the maximum people are from Germany and the minimum people are from Arab. Okay. Next. Next, we have come to ordinal scale, which is a second type of non-metric scale. Okay. We will come back again to this diagram. I hope you have drawn this diagram in your copy. Non-metric and metric. यहाँ पे we have covered the nominal scale, and what have we learned in the nominal scale? That we cannot calculate the mean, mode, median, or any statistical technique, but we can uh, calculate percentage in nominal scale. Now we have come to ordinal scale. Now let us understand the meaning of ordinal scale first. Ordinal scale is a ranking scale in which numbers are assigned to objects to indicate the extent to which the object possesses some characteristics. An ordinal scale allows you to determine whether an object has more or less of a characteristic than some other object, but not how much or how less. So, whatever you can make out from an ordinal scale is that this thing is greater than this thing, but what is the difference that you cannot make out? ये ज्यादा है इससे, पर कितना ज्यादा है वो नहीं पता कर सकते आप ordinal scale से. For example, this is a diagram that is given. Three chilies are given. This is hot, दिस इज हॉटर एंड दिस इज हॉटेस्ट। इसमें मिर्ची सबसे ज्यादा होगी, ठीक है, स्पाइस सबसे ज्यादा होगा, पर कितना ज्यादा होगा इससे वो नहीं हम बता सकते इसमें ऑर्डिनल स्केल। ठीक है, ordinal scale indicates relative position but not the magnitude of difference. So we can only compare, but we cannot calculate. What I'm saying, you can only compare, you cannot calculate. You can say that this is greater than this is less than this, but how much you cannot tell. The object ranked first has more of the characteristics as compared with the object ranked second. But whether the object ranked second is a close second or a poor second is not known. Poor, close second matlab the first student is getting 99%, the second student is getting 98.4. So this is a close second, right? Poor second means the first student is getting 99%, the second student is getting 70%. बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस है ना, 99% में और 70% में बहुत डिफरेंस है, 99% में 98.4 में डिफरेंस नहीं है। ठीक है, तो ये चीज हाउ मच डिफरेंस इज देयर दैट कैन नॉट बी कैलकुलेटेड, बट इफ यू आर फर्स्ट इन क्लास देन आई कैन से इट विद 100% कॉन्फिडेंस that you have got maximum marks in the class among 18 students, and the second person has get second highest marks, and the third person has get third highest marks. This is something that I can tell. Okay, common examples of ordinal scales include quality ranking, ranking of teams in a tournament, occupational status. So in marketing research, ordinal scales are used to measure relative. Okay, relative means comparative attitude, opinion, perception, and preferences. Measurements of this type include greater than or less than judgments from the respondents. So let us take examples. Okay, usage frequency of four milk brands. So what are these? A, B, C, D? ये क्या है? These are milk brands. Okay, for example, A is Amul and B is Saras and C is Country Delight and D is Britannia, right? These are four milk brands. Now these are the name of two respondents, first and second. Now frequencies, how we can, they have ranked the usage, right? For example, C milk brand has been given first rank, the milk brand has given second rank, the A milk brand has given third, the D has been given fourth, right? So that's how they have ranked uh, the the liking of their brand. This table shows that the first respondent prefers C to B, B to A, and A to D, right? So what he has done, August is the name of the respondent. Ranked, he has ranked in the order of his liking. He has ranked these four milk brands. For example, C is Amul. So according to him, he like the Amul brand most. उसको सारे मिल्क ब्रांड देंगे तो वो अमूल चूज करेगा. तो C, he has given C as one. For example, B is Saras, he has marked them two, right? A is something else and D is four. That means he will take the D brand. If nothing else is left, he will take D. If I'll give him all four brands together, he will pick C. Yeah, and if we compare it with the second person, sorry, the name of whom is Gokhan. So Gokhan is going to favor, right? Gokhan is going to favor B brand, right? And then the second number rank he is giving to C brand, the third number rank he is giving to D brand, and the fourth number rank he is given to A brand. This table shows that August prefers C to B. Why it is written C to B? Because rank, what is the rank of C? Rank of C is first. That means if there are four brands, he is preferring the C brand most. Are you getting my point? That this is called as ordinal. But he cannot say that I like the C brand 90% more than B. Through this table, we can only see that he likes C brand more than B. Okay, he like B brand more than A, but how much more he like B as compared to C or A as compared to C, that I do not know. Okay, so is this table clear? Is ordinal scale clear? Tell me. Any confusion? Any
No, ma'am.
point? Okay, except Aditya, I am asking to everybody. Okay, so your silence, I'm assuming that you are understanding. Now, next we are coming to interval scale. What is interval scale? Now, interval scale is a metric scale, right? The two scales that we have covered till now, the first is nominal scale and the second is ordinal scale. They are actually non-metric scale. We cannot measure it. We can compare it, but not exactly. But now we have come to metric scale. Metric scale we can compare and we can calculate. In an interval scale, numerically equal distances on the scale represent equal values in the characteristic being measured because it is measured. So numeric value हम यहाँ पे calculate कर सकते हैं. Interval scale contains all the information of a ordinal scale, but it also allows you to compare the difference between the objects. जहाँ पे हम ऑर्डिनल स्केल में डिफरेंस कैलकुलेट नहीं कर पा रहे थे, अभी हम डिफरेंस को इजीली कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं इंटरवल स्केल में. The difference between any two scale values is identical to the difference between any other two adjacent values of an interval scale. So there is a scale, right? So how what is written in the slide? For example, it is a simple scale through which we measure objects in centimeters. So I can say that the distance between 1 centimeter to 2 centimeter is equal to the distance between 2 centimeter and 3 centimeter. Can I say that? The distance is same, no? I can compare and I can accurately say that the distance between 1 centimeter to 3 centimeter is equal to the distance between 3 centimeter and 5 centimeter, right? So this is something that I can say, I can judge in the interval scale. There is a constant or equal interval between scale value. The difference between 1 and 2 is same as the difference between 2 and 3. Means all are at equal distance. 1 and 2, the distance between 1 and 2 is equal to the distance between 2 and 3 is equal to the distance between 3 and 4. Okay, so the distance is same, which is same as the difference between 5 and 6. A common example in everyday life is a temperature scale. In marketing research, attitudinal data obtained from the rating scale are treated as interval scale. Okay, whatever data we take from attitude of the people, on the attitude of the people, that can be come in the interval scale. So this temperature is an example of interval scale. In this temperature scale, if you calculate the distance between 0 to 10, it is same as compared to 0 to 20, 20 to 30 and 30 to 40. And we can also compare that 10 degree is less as compared to 40 degree Celsius. This also we can say, we can compare also and we can tell how much 10 degree is greater than is less than 20 degree. So 20 degree is greater than 10 degree greater than 10 degree Celsius and 10 degree is 10 degree less than 20 degree Celsius. This I can tell very easily, right? So that is called as interval scale. So one example is given. Turkish people are generous. So this is an ideology given, right? Whether you agree with it, this ideology, or you do not agree with this ideology. For example, you strongly agree, or you agree, you neither agree or disagree, you disagree or strongly disagree. So you have to choose only one alternative among the given alternative, right? So the thing is that, for example, I strongly agree, right? I strongly agree that Turkish people are very good people, very generous people. So I will tick on 5. And Aditya thinks that Turkish people are not generous, so he will tick on first, right? So my attitude is more positive to Turkish people as compared to Aditya's attitude. Are you getting my point? Because attitude is something that I cannot quantify, but I've tried to quantify it with the help of interval scale. This is a interval scale which is in front of you, and this interval scale is telling you that if somebody is liking 5, that means he loves Turkish people, and if somebody is sticking on 1 or 2, they do not like Turkish people, right? So my attitude is more positive towards Turkish people as compared to Aditya attitude. Okay, so this is called as interval scale. Interval is a metric scale, so it is possible to calculate the arithmetic mean of the interval scale, and interval scale can be 5, 7, or 9 level scale. So 5, 7, or 9 level scale money, this is a 5 level scale, right? You can make it a 6 level scale also. यहाँ पे क्या है, strongly agree है, तो you can add somewhat agree, agree के बाद you can add somewhat agree, and then strongly agree. So this will become a 7 level scale. यहाँ पे somewhat disagree भी आएगा ना, तो वो बन जाएगा आपका 7 level scale. सो यहाँ पे ये लिखा हुआ है कि ये जो इंटरवल स्केल है वो 5 लेवल भी हो सकता है, ये 5 लेवल है, इसको आप 7 लेवल भी बना सकते हो, और इसको आप 9 लेवल भी बना सकते हो, ठीक है? सो आई थिंक दैट्स इनफ फॉर टुडे. We are running out of time, so I will take your attendance and then I will end the class now. Before that, I am giving you time to ask any question or discuss on anything if you want to. 7th July. Okay. Nishanta Burman. Nishanta is present. Sachin. Sachin is present.
Present, ma'am.
Ubina. Yes, he is present. Aditya Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Aditya. Nitish Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Rahul Kumar.
Present, ma'am.
Sanjeev. Sanjeev is present. Absent. Saurabh Kumar Jha.
Present, ma'am.
Upendra. Upendra. Upendra is present. No, absent. Anil. Anil is present. Rajkumar is present. Shilpi is present.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Aditya Raj भी present है. Anjali is present. Sahaj Rathod.
Ma'am, Anjali present.
Okay. Chandrasekhar. He is absent today. Gaurav Singh
Gaurav Singh present, ma'am.
and Papu Singh. Papu Singh is. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. I am ending the class.